He's a living legend. He's in the Guinness Book of Records. He's been Sportsman of the Year in both New Zealand and the UK. Ivan Mauger, 6 times World Speedway champion. Crowds in Palmerston North watch him with both pride and awe.
From my memory, this track seems to be a little bit narrower than when I was here before. Maybe it's just optical illusion on my part, but I think that when we were here before, we used to use the outer fence was for the Speedway, and this inner fence was for the stock cars, but we've still got enough room to get around here pretty good. And these straightforward 400 metre tracks are very good for racing, and you keep up a good speed.
Ivan Mauger, International Speedway's most famous name. He's kept New Zealand's name before the world more than any other individual. His world is dirt, rubber, fumes, roaring bikes, glare, and huge screaming crowds. He first rode in a Speedway race at the age of 16 in Christchurch. At 18, he and his wife Ray went to Wimbledon. Now their son is 20, and Kim has taken up the standard of the Mauger name. He's turned to the world master, his father, for advice and instruction in the fine art of making a bike with no brakes pull his taut body around a dirt track sideways at 100 kilometers an hour. As a tutor or champion, Ivan Mauger leaves nothing to chance.
But, you know, see how hard it is here? Well, we'll get some water put on it before you go round, lay the dust and everything. But we'll delay it a little bit before you go. If you come in out wide here and get straight before you get across there, you can go across that soft stuff with both your wheels in line and you'll be okay.
Ivan's concerned about the Palmerston North stock car track. At the speeds Kim's bike can reach, the line between the bottom of the fence and the edge of the track blurs to invisibility. So teaching his son to find the correct line through a corner is more harrowing than doing it himself. While Ivan's thinking about the problems Kim faces, his son's attitudes to his father surfaces.
I don't ever see myself getting anywhere near any of his achievements. I can't see that. I can't see anybody in the world doing that, so I don't see why I should.
Now, he's said that he's not particularly interested in winning a world championship. Do you think that shows the sort of fire and determination that you think is necessary?
No, I don't think it does. I think you've got to be really determined to win a world championship in order that you'll qualify for one. But, you know, the thing is, at the moment, Kim's had quite a bit of experience in the last 5 or 10 years in Speedway around the world, just travelling about with me and with my mechanics. But he's really talking as a 3-month-old novice. So, you know, I think just it's going to take another few months before we really get to know what he's going to do and what his capabilities are.
Almost every school has a uniform, and Mauger Tech is no exception. His full-face helmet is a far cry from the pudding bowl crash hat his father used in the 50s. And beneath the leathers, Kim wears a special impact-absorbing pad to protect his back. Crashes in Speedway are as common as cut lunches and bottles of milk at a normal school.
Okay, when you get going, just come along about mid-track and stay around the line. I think it's better to stay inside all that bad stuff there. And take it easy for a couple of laps before you gas it really hard.
Yeah, I'll just warm it up.
Yeah, okay.
Kim talks about his lessons.
If I can become 90% a rider on my own with a little bit of his help, then that last 10% I think I'll need him. The finesse of starting, the finesse of turning properly, and when to turn. You become a good rider just on your own, but then you need to be told, showed how to do everything.
In his climb to the top, Ivan Mauger was and is a very hard Speedway rider. And the sins of the father may reflect on the son.
Possibly he might, you know, a certain amount of the fellas who maybe couldn't beat me, they might think, well, they'll beat his son anyway. So, but I think Kimmy's prepared for that type of attitude. And he's determined to overcome that, and I think that's a big thing in his favour.
What's your advice to him as a father and as a teacher?
My advice is really, if he's really dedicated and sincere about being a rider, and that it's just to stick with it, because every sport and profession has its ups and downs, and the people who are able to overcome the downs are the ones who succeed in the end. Don't put your foot on the footrest until you've gone a little way, and keep your elbows straight, only use your wrists. Just let the clutch out as you're gassing it, then you'll keep the grip on the back wheel the whole time. Try and just hold it in a dead straight line.
Kim's apprenticeship continues. Each lap hones his reflexes. Each new track tests his adaptability. The bike Kim rides, a 500cc single, is world class. Its methanol-burning engine puts out as much horsepower as a small-sized family car. But it has no brakes. Slowing down never wins speedway races. Kim is perfecting the technique of throwing the bike sideways to go fast, but get through a corner. When the school day ends, Ivan gets ready to show the Palmerston North audience that he's still the world champion practitioner of what he preaches. Again, patience and a flair for detail make Ivan Mauger the leader in his sport. He served a 12-year apprenticeship. Each movement is familiar, yet sure. He's 40, but he's still very much a racer. But his son has already been approached by the British Speedway club, the Newcastle Diamonds. Ivan rides for Hull, which could lead to an interesting rivalry.
Would you race against your father?
Yes, if I had to.
Would you try to beat him?
I'd have to try and beat him. You've got to race to win. There's no two ways about it.
And how would you feel taking the checkered flag from your father?
Well, if it was under fair conditions and all that sort of facts and that, I'd be very proud to beat him. If I knew he was going well anyway.
And how would you feel if he took the checkered flag in a race that you two were in?
Well, I think I'm always disappointed to get second, but I think in that case I'd be very proud.
On the track, it's a happy rivalry, but at trackside, Ray Mauger looks on with mixed feelings. Her son Kim may or may not be a new champion.
It's very difficult to say that right now.
Why is that?
He's got a long road ahead of him.
How do you mean that?
Well, champions aren't made in 5 minutes.
This, then, is the Mauger family domain. But Kim will wait in the wings a little while longer. Tonight is Ivan's. Another one of the thousands of similar nights in his 24 years of speedway racing. At 40, Ivan is feeling the effects of his career, and lately he's been troubled by ill health. He'll try for an unbeatable 7th World Championship. But after that try, he'll retire and teach young riders, such as his son, the technique, if not the style, of a world champion. So for crowds at Palmerston North, this may be a night to remember, as the World Master shows them how it's done for what may be the last time.
1:16.2, the first prime time of the night, and then will be the stand.